Coming up tonight, Singapore will extend the vaccination program to its temporary visitors.
And as Singapore reopens our borders, domestic safe management measures will remain in place.
More than 1,000 performers will take to the floating platform this Saturday for the National Day Parade. This is the Straits Times Newsnight. I'm Chao Su-An.
Good evening, I'm Dylan Ang. Starting today, foreigners who are in Singapore temporarily are eligible to get vaccinated against Covid-19 for free. Now, these include short-term work pass and special pass holders, like those on training employment passes, training work permits, work holiday passes and special passes. Vaccination will also be available to eligible short-term visitors who have been in Singapore for at least 60 days continuously. Now, this group comprises many unable to return home because of global travel restrictions. While the vaccination is free, they will not qualify for the Vaccine Injury Financial Assistance Program.
As at August 16th, 76% of our population has completed the full vaccination regimen, and 82% have received at least one dose. Daily administration is coming down to about 40,000 doses a day, compared with 80,000 at its peak.
And as more people get vaccinated, all three local carriers, Singapore Airlines, Scoot and Jetstar Asia, will require at least their frontline staff to be fully inoculated by the end of this year.
SIA frontline workers based in Singapore, including pilots and cabin crew, must get their 2 doses by September 1st, while December 1st is the deadline for Scoot's Singapore-based frontliners to get their jabs. Jetstar Asia, however, will require all employees, including those in offices, to be fully vaccinated by October 1st.
Now, with travel expected to pick up soon and Singapore planning to gradually reopen our borders, measures will stay put domestically to ensure cases are under control as more travellers come into the country. Posting on LinkedIn today, Trade and Industry Minister Gan Kim Yong said Singapore plans to pilot travel arrangements, likely starting with business travel, while exploring how to do this for leisure travel with a controlled itinerary.
With this reopening, the number of infections can be expected to increase, and so Singapore will monitor the situation closely to prevent healthcare facilities from being overwhelmed. Mr. Gan said any further relaxation in the community will also depend on how well we manage the reopening of our borders and whether we can ensure there isn't a huge increase in infections.
Now, if you've been on Carousel lately, you might have noticed this. Now, offers to buy appointment slots for the Sinovac vaccine following news that the government stock of 200,000 doses of the vaccine is running low.
A check by the Straits Times today showed 4 bidders dangling between $50 and $80 to buy the slots. It's unclear if any transaction has taken place, and the Straits Times has reached out to the Ministry of Health and the Health Sciences Authority on the legality of such deals.
British national Benjamin Glynn, caught maskless on an MRT train in May, has been convicted of all 4 charges and sentenced to 6 weeks in jail. The charges include harassment and being a public nuisance.
During the trial, one of the arresting officers testified that Glynn had resisted arrest, while another said he described COVID-19 as a hoax. Glynn had been deemed to have no diagnosable mental disorders and fit to plead, following psychiatric observation at the Institute of Mental Health.
Meanwhile, a woman has been detained after shouting in court during the trial. Her mask had broken and she refused to obey the judge's order to leave the court. She was heard shouting "kangaroo court" several times. She also called herself a, quote, living woman and said she has no contract with the police, making reference to the same sovereign citizen movement Glynn had made.
Now, taking a look at Singapore's daily COVID-19 numbers, 53 new cases were confirmed today, 49 locally transmitted and 4 imported. Of the local infections, 30 are linked to previous cases and 19 are currently unlinked.
70,000 CPF members will receive about $40 million in matching grants next January for cash top-ups made to their retirement account in the first half of this year. Under this match retirement savings scheme, every dollar of cash top-ups made to eligible members will be matched by the government, up to an annual cap of $600.
Now it's been about 5 hours or so since the 4 p.m. deadline, when Malaysia's 220 MPs had to submit their choice for the next Prime Minister.
3 frontrunners have emerged, but the one with the best chance of securing the premiership is UMNO Vice President Ismail Sabri Yaakob, after his party's 38 lawmakers decided late last night to throw their support behind him. With this, Mr. Ismail will likely have the support of 115 MPs, 4 more than the 111 needed for a simple majority.
But before he or anyone is officially appointed to the role, the King will meet the 9 state rulers on Friday. Between now and then, ST's Malaysia Bureau Chief tells us what we can expect.
With the King taking this step to also consult with his brother rulers, the other 9 state sultans and monarchs, he probably won't announce a winner before that meeting. I think he will do them at least a courtesy, even though he's very sure of who the winner might be. We'll at least do the courtesy of informing them first before the rest of the country. So at earliest, we are looking at Friday evening. But what he's promised to do is to also vet through the declarations that he's going to get. Now, he's asked everyone to submit who they pick, right, as the Prime Minister by 4 o'clock today. So then he says that he's going to vet through all these different letters, call each MP personally, and just kind of double confirm that you really did pick this guy, didn't do it under duress, so on and so forth. So that process will take some time as well, and that might take us until Thursday already, and then Friday is the meeting.
And a look at what's trending on social media. Former national footballer Kekanan has appealed to the Football Association of Singapore to have his lifetime ban from football activities lifted. Now, it's his 5th appeal attempt after getting rejected by FAS and the Asian Football Confederation from 1995 to 2002.
The 59-year-old, who was jailed and fined in 1995 for corruption, said his best days in football are over, adding, and I quote, "I've made a mistake and have paid for it dearly, and I just want to move on with my life." ST understands that Kekanan was issued a letter from FAS following a complaint that he had been playing social football at the Indian Association last year. And moving on to one of the world's most famous footballers, and surely the most expensive piece of rubbish ever.
Now, the tissue apparently used by Lionel Messi during his farewell address to Barcelona earlier this month is being auctioned for $1 million.
That's a huge number. You'll remember this moment when he had to compose himself during his emotional farewell to his club of 21 years. An unidentified person is said to have obtained that very same tissue before listing it on online marketplace Mercado Libre.
Now, it seems like the post has been taken down, but here's a screenshot. Crazy! Imagine shelling out that kind of money for what essentially belongs in the bin, even if you are the biggest Messi fan.
And some exciting news coming in from a galaxy far, far away. Disney Plus has debuted the trailer and announced the Japanese and English dubbed voice cast for the upcoming Star Wars anthology series.
Telling new stories through the style and tradition of Japanese anime, the initial release of Star Wars Visions will comprise 9 short films from various Japanese animation studios.
And for the English-dubbed version, you'll hear the familiar voices of Hollywood's big names like Lucy Liu, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Neil Patrick Harris, as well as Marvel's latest action star, Simu Liu.
Neil Patrick Harris, I can't believe it. I can only picture him as Barney in How I Met Your Mother. But anyway, both versions will be available when the series launches on Disney Plus on September 22nd.
Now, But before we go, we've had to wait a little longer for this year's National Day Parade, but I hope you're looking forward to Saturday. I certainly am, because more than 1,000 performers will take to the stage in the show segment at the floating platform.
Nearly 600 of them will be virtual from schools and community groups like the People's Association. Throughout the 4-act show, live performances at the venue will be blended with animated short films, highlighting the Singapore spirit in the face of adversity.
And that wraps up the Straits Times Newsnight. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos.
You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button below. Keep safe and we'll see you tomorrow.